I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, as much as we liked this game as kids, this really isn't all that impressive. I mean, don't get me wrong here, this really isn't a bad game. All things considered, it's pretty good, but it's not very fun. The thing is, it's lacking some substance, and overall it just feels kind of so-so, you know? It's pretty average. At least to me it feels pretty average, even before it felt kinda average. But nowadays it feels even more average. That's not necessarily a bad thing, mind you, but that doesn't mean that it's a classic or anything. I wouldn't call this a classic. If anything, I'd say the second game is better, if only because it was more focused and had, well, just more substance. It was more... what's the right word for it? It was more... you know, I think focused is the right word, and I shouldn't look for any other word. I think that just works. It's just focused. The second game was just focused because, for one, it wasn't a beat 'em up, it was a story, an action adventure. So it had its mechanics properly sorted out, everything was fine, it's just that it didn't really go very far. I already said what I wanted to say about that game in the actual playthrough. You can check it out on the channel. I'll leave a link in the description for that playlist, if you're interested, of course. But as far as I'm concerned, Fighting Force 2 was just kind of a missed opportunity. Overall, it wasn't a bad game, it was just mostly a missed opportunity, and it could have been better. The developers could have done more with it. They could have brought back the characters from this game, actually. They could have maybe fleshed out the story a little bit? I don't know, actually. I don't remember all of the things that happened in that game, because it wasn't the most memorable of them all. Well, overall, it was pretty fun. This is just another beat 'em up, and that is the biggest problem for Fighting Force, I think. That is just another beat 'em up. It needs to be different to be able to stand out on its own. I know you could say that Streets of Rage isn't much better in that regard because it's not that special either, but personally, to me, when I compare the two games, I find Streets of Rage to be just a lot more enjoyable. It had a lot more... what's the best buzzword to use here for those who hate those? No, I'm just kidding. What would be the best way to describe it? I guess Streets of Rage just had more character? Is that the right way to describe it? It just felt more complete for me. It's something that's not only can I play, but also enjoy and replay, even if it doesn't have that much replay value. Whereas this is, well, it's a game, I can play it with friends, but I'll be coming back to it pretty rarely, if ever, because it doesn't have enough to keep me interested. It's good enough for one night and one night only. It's a perfect one night stand. But that's about it. There's just not much else to it. And I think that's the biggest problem for this game. It's just another beat 'em up. And you could probably find a better beat 'em up, even on the same console actually, even for PS1. I bet there's better beat 'em ups than this. But hey, if you bought this, I don't think you missed out. I don't think your money goes to waste. Sure, it isn't the most impressive game, as I said already a million times. It's pretty average, all things considered. But hey, it isn't bad. you can have fun with it. It's pretty fun. In fact, I could say I'm having fun already, beating the shit out of these street hooligans who are trying to prevent me from stopping the end of the world, cause you know that's a thing that people do. I mean, who the fuck are even these who even are these people from the fighting force? What is the fighting force? Is it like an organization? Is it police vigilantes? What are they? I suppose the answers to that are in the manual, but if you don't have the manual, you're just left wondering what the fuck's going on in this damn game. Like, you don't even know what year it is. It's just like, it's time to end the end of the world. And that's it. That's all the plot you get. Okay. Cool. Why? Why are we doing this? That's about it. There's just nothing there. Meanwhile, on Streets of Rage, the first thing that happens is that you get a quick plot summary of what the fuck's going on. Mr. X took over the city. You're playing as the vigilantes. Go beat the fucking shit out of him and his bullshit army of criminals. That's admittedly not the most impressive story, of course. It's not very deep for one, and it could be, well, easily fleshed out by anyone who actually feels like doing it. And the characters are pretty basic, all things considered, often without any noticeable character traits. Unless, of course, you want to consider their fighting styles and that silly list of hobbies and dislikes or whatever it was as their personality traits. But it's still more memorable. It still has more things worth discussing and worth giving a shit about. Whereas this, it's just like, hey, look, we have Hawk MIEENSON. Who's Hawk MIEENSON? No, I don't know. Who's Alana? I don't know. Who's Mace? Huh? And who the fuck is that Smasher fucking shithead? Like, who the fuck is he? Nobody fucking knows. What the fuck is that portrait of Shodan doing there? Doesn't it kinda look like it? It's kind of a weird thing to notice. Really, that's a weird fucking portrait. What even is that? Does anybody know what that's supposed to be? Or is that just a random thing that the developers came up with? Speaking of which, some people say that this was developed by Eidos? No, this was developed by Core Design, as far as I know. I could be mistaken, and if I am, please correct me. Because honestly, I didn't do any research into this. I don't really care. I just remember that Core Design was behind the first two, well, the only two, I should say, Fighting Force games. And I think they developed it, whereas Eidos simply published the games for them. But there are some people who assume that Eidos did all the developing, and well, you know, you can't really blame them all that much because this is a pretty common mistake people make when it comes to games. Like, take EA games for example. A lot of people like to say that EA has made certain games. I don't have the exact examples, unfortunately, because I can't remember any good examples off the top of my head. But there are some games which are simply published by EA rather than being developed. It just so happens that the developers themselves are kinda hard to distinguish if you don't do research. And you immediately start to think, oh, it was made by EA, okay. And you don't look any further. Not that this is really a big problem. I don't think any regular old person who likes to play video games is really gonna give a shit who developed the game in the first place, as long as they can recognize the development teams or the companies. Like, if you see a Blizzard logo on a game that's just published by Blizzard, I don't think you're going to immediately go like, oh, I wonder if this is made by Blizzard actually, or was it somebody else that nobody heard about? No, you're just probably gonna think, oh, a Blizzard game, cool. because you probably would associate Blizzard with, you know, quality titles. I don't know. Probably not, but that depends on what kind of a person you are and what kind of taste you have, of course. But you get the idea. People make this kind of mistake often with just about any developers and publishers, so it's nothing too special. It's nothing worth being pissed off about. Oh, did you notice that you got a boss fight, by the way? What's his name? Exo. Guys, come on. You could have come up with better names. Whatever. Exo here is a piece of shit, but if you feel like wasting a lot of time, you could just keep punching him. Cause that, surprisingly enough, stun locks him into a defensive position, which does allow you to do damage. It's just that it's a very slow method of doing damage. I would not recommend doing this because it takes way too long. I also remember being able to do damage to him with boxes, but as I can now see, Exo is a piece of shit that likes to chase you around. This is a surprisingly effective method of catching him off guard and doing some damage. Just doing some jumping kicks. Oi! Watch it, you bitch! He has the same voice as a Smasher, actually. So if you're playing a Smasher, it's kind of like beating yourself up. It's so fucking surreal. Uh-oh. No! Nope. You ain't gonna beat me up that easily. Not that it matters, I have enough continues to survive this. By the way, this is one of those weird fucking games that don't have lives. They use continues instead. Why? Continues are not the same thing as lives. This really makes me fucking annoyed. Because when I see continues, I think it's that thing that I use when I get killed and I need to like restart the area or something. But no, instead it's the equivalent of lives. Why is continues lives? That's so fucking annoying. If you're not gonna have lives, don't have continues either. Or if you're going to have continues, have some fucking lives. Like, what the fuck? What's the big idea? Have one or the other, not this weird hodgepodge of neither. Or both. Plus I hate Exo, cause he's a piece of shit. Look at this, I can't even fucking start attacking him, cause as soon as I stand up, he starts beating me up. And the worst thing is, once you get hit by an enemy, you're stuck. You can't fucking move. Cause you get, you know, stun locked. So I lost all of my continues to this one piece of fucking shit. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna choose a save state slot, cause I can do that, and I'm gonna make a save state before I fucking lose the game and I'm forced to restart all the way from the beginning, cause you know, this is that kind of a game. It will do that. Ah, I hate this fucking asshole. Come over here. I would like to hear what kind of strategies do you employ to fight this piece of shit, because you know, it's kind of annoying to constantly run around and beat him up this way. Before I just kept playing as Smasher all the time. I never really liked the other characters. Now I have a bit more appreciation for them. So as Smasher, I would just keep punching him all the time while he was blocking, and I would kill him through chip damage. Because I just couldn't be arsed to deal with him any other way. I might do the same thing here too. If I get the opportunity, of course. Fuck you. Fuck you, you shithead. Seriously. What would really help though is having some life pickups, because you know, in other beat 'em up games they have at least one health pickup in the middle of a boss fight. Streets of Rage might be the best example of that. It always had one full heal before the start of a fight. This doesn't have such a thing. Which is really fucking annoying, because I'm again nearly fucking dead because this piece of shit can just unlock me and hurt me plenty. And there's nothing I can do about it. There are no moves that I can do that would heal me up. For fuck's sake, you saw that? I tried to do a jumping kick and he just kicked me out of the fucking automated jumping kick. What a piece of fucking shit. Now you wanna know what happens after this point? Then you lose all of it. This is what happens. You go straight to the fucking beginning of the game. Right to the main menu. Well, I have better things to do with my life, so time travel! Fuck you, Exo. What a piece of fucking shit. This also highlights how shit the fucking grabbing mechanic is. You wanna know what I was doing there all the time? Mashing the triangle button, trying to grab his stupid face. But because the game has decided that it's now my turn to have fun, it doesn't let me grab him. I don't get what the stipulation is, but it just doesn't let me do it. What the fuck? What? What? That's all I had to do? Motherfucker! I'm not even mad at this because this is just pathetic. Oh, air base and naval base. Let's go to naval base because you know you have to. You have to see how fucking shit that place's boss is. What the fuck was that? Seriously? I just grabbed him and kept mashing square and he just gave up. What the fuck? I don't know what to even to say. Like, what did I just see? That was pathetic for a boss fight. That's the second boss fight, by the way, and that was just sad. A man with an exoskeleton was beaten up by Hawk fucking MIEENSON, crotch punching him. Crotch kicking, I should say. Just fucking crotch kneeing his dick. He got his dick kneed. There's just no words to describe how fucking sad that was. But whatever. It doesn't matter at this point because now we are on a train, and this is a rather unique level actually. I don't think I've seen a beat 'em up that has exclusively a train level. I mean, do you know any? I can't remember a single one. Well, except this one, of course. And this one, well, it's pretty fun because each cart, well, each wagon I should say, not cart, is slightly different. One is a passenger wagon and the other one is a cargo wagon. And the cargo wagons contain boxes full of useful goodies. Like this shotgun. Let me drop the fucking shotgun, bitch! Oh, here we go. I thought the shotgun is gonna be stuck to my hand forever. Wouldn't be the first time, actually. You know, it's safe to say that whatever glitches we may encounter in this playthrough are entirely caused because of me recording the game. Because, as I've learned already through several other PS1 playthroughs, the glitches always happen when I record. They never happen if I don't record. It has to... I imagine it has something to do with how the screen recorders use extra resources, and they may accidentally like interfere with how the game runs, which may cause some unintended glitches to happen. I mean, it's just a guess, but it's a good of a guess as any, all things considered. Fuck you, I can kick too. Gotta say, the names of these enemies are not particularly good. Like, here's Masher again. And the first time we saw a Masher was in the first level, actually. He was the big buff guy. Whereas here, a Masher is now just a random dude with bandages on him. If you see a guy just looking kinda worn out and tired, don't bother grabbing him, because then you'll reset his tired animation. Ooh, look at this. It's dynamite. I lit the dynamite. You can stay there, boys. I don't give a shit. Okay, now I give a shit. And it only killed one dude. Granted, the others got hurt plenty, but come on. Point blank explosion from a dynamite should be able to do just a little bit more damage. I am glad to finally hear the soundtrack of this game, because without the soundtrack, this game is incredibly dull. Granted, the soundtrack isn't all that great either. I'm not gonna remember any of these tracks later on. Let's just be clear here, but it at least fills the air with some sound. So it keeps the mind at ease. Hey, what the shit? How dare you pick up and throw Hawk MIEENSON? Yeah, was that it? Oh, look at that, I gotta continue. I know if you find certain spots on the levels, you can also exit out of this score screen a little faster. We saw that actually at the very beginning of the game, in the first level, where if you run into the building, you immediately exit out of the score screen.